Hi, friends. So we are back reading Counting on Katherine. And yesterday we read about how Katherine loved math, how she had to go to high school in a different school, how she became a teacher and taught students. And then we came to this page where Katherine applied to jobs with mathematics in them so that she can see how she could send a rocket ship to space. But she never got the job. But Katherine was patient and then she got the job. So let's read more to see what kind of work she did. A few years later, the Soviet Union sent a rocket ship into space, launching a space race with the United States. NACA was rolled into a new space agency, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, also known as NASA. Katherine now found herself at the heart of America's space program. She worked as a computer. Electronic computers were not widely used then. So she worked as a computer, calculating long series of numbers. All the computers were women. They were given the tasks that men thought were boring and unimportant, but they really were important. That didn't bother Katherine. She knew that without her contributions, a spaceship couldn't reach its destination nor safely return to Earth. Here's why. Sending a rocket ship into space is like throwing a ball into the air. At first, the force of the throw sends the ball up, up, up. But as its energy runs out, the ball curves back down towards the ground. Where it lands depends on what angle it was thrown and how high and how fast it flew. Because math is a kind of language, Katherine could ask those questions. How high would the rocket ship go? And how fast would it travel? Using numbers. And numbers would provide the all-important answers. Where would it land? To find out, Katherine plotted the numbers she calculated on a graph. She joined the points together. They formed a curved line. At one end of that line was Earth at the time the rocket ship launched. At the other was where Earth would be when the ship landed. So here's her explaining how rockets would land, just like throwing a ball. And here's her calculating. Katherine's reputation for accuracy and strong leadership skills got her promoted to Project Mercury, a new program designed to send the first American astronauts into space. Mercury's missions were going to be dangerous, so dangerous that even the project's star astronaut, John Glenn, refused to fly unless Katherine okayed the numbers. "You can count on me," she said. Glenn's spacecraft, Friendship 7, orbited Earth 3 times and returned home safely. Glenn became a national hero. Katherine was promoted again. Now she was asked to calculate the flight paths to Project Apollo, the first flights to the moon. "Count on me," she said. On July 20th, 1969, the Apollo 11 astronauts walked on the moon. Their feat was celebrated around the world. More triumphs followed. Apollo 12 rocketed to the moon in November 1969. Apollo 13 launched on April 11, 1970. But on the third day of Apollo 13's flight, the worst thing happened. An explosion in space. Could the crippled spaceship make it to the moon? And if it didn't, would it be able to get back home to Earth? The 3 astronauts on board were in grave peril. Commander Jim Lovell told Mission Control, "Houston, we've got a problem." Back on Earth, Katherine Johnson got a phone call. Her flight path calculations would have to be done all over again, and perfectly. It would be the toughest challenge of her life. Katherine told Mission Control, "You can count on me." She rolled up her sleeves, took a deep breath, and began doing the math. She worked hard and fast. A few hours later, Catherine's calculations were finished. The flight path to return home would take the ship around the far side of the moon. From there, the moon's gravity would act like a slingshot to zing the ship back to Earth. To get home, the crew of Apollo 13 would have to follow Catherine's course exactly by burning off fuel at precise intervals. If the astronauts made a mistake, their ship would drift through space forever. Katherine waited anxiously to hear the astronauts' report. Finally, it crackled over the loudspeakers. "We've got it!" Apollo 13 was back on track. Katherine Johnson had done it. She brought Apollo 13 home. She was no longer the kid who dreamed of what lay beyond the stars. She was now a star herself. And here is a little bit of the facts about Katherine Johnson, and I will post it down below. So, Katherine is a history maker. Here's the cover. So, who remembers what Katherine did with her math skills that made history? Comment down below.